Hi guys, and welcome to All About the Philippines. Now, today I want to talk about how Filipinas cope from being far from home. So, let's imagine that you've just brought a Filipina to live in your country, for example, and how she's going to feel making that big transition to your country. It's not an easy thing for her to do. While she might be very excited for her new life with you in your country, it's a big change from what she's used to. She's going to a new country with no one she knows except for you. She probably doesn't know much about your country. She may have visited there, but she may not know a real lot about your country or the town or city you're living in. There's a lot of things that creep into her mind, which would be, is this going to be okay? Am I going to be able to cope? Can I do this? All these questions would continually go through her mind, which they would for anybody. You imagine yourself, if you went to the Philippines and all you knew was your partner, it would be very difficult to adjust to that lifestyle, that completely different lifestyle that you've never had before. So the question really is, how does a Filipina who goes to a new country, how do they cope when they get there? For some people, it could actually send them a bit crazy, because the worry about everything, the uncertainty about everything that is constantly going through your mind, and the doubts that creep in. So I've got a few tips here today, guys, which I'm going to give you, which hopefully will help with your Filipina if and when you bring her to your country. These tips I found in my relationship when my wife first came to Australia, they really helped her a lot to get used to the country and to feel settled here to the point where she feels part of Australia, where we live now. So the very first thing is, when they first come to your country, they're going to want to look naturally for things that are familiar to them, to make them feel a bit more comfortable. And that usually is other Filipinas or Filipino people in that community. They may be walking downtown and they might spot another Filipina, and a lot of the time I notice they'll go up and they'll start chatting to them to try and get that connection. And by meeting other Filipinas or Filipino people, she'll meet other Filipinas who are friends of that Filipina, and her networks within that little community will start to grow, which will make her feel a bit more at home and a bit more at ease, which is really important when she first comes to your country. Through that, they might also join up into the Filipino communities. Most towns and cities around the world will have a Filipino community where they all get together every now and again. It'll be like a group or an organisation that they've created, and they might do Christmas parties together, multicultural events, all that sort of thing. It's allowing your Filipina to keep her cultural identity when she first comes to your country, and to mix with people and things that are familiar to her. She might want to cook a lot of her own food for maybe she'll keep doing that forever. Then that's fine. It's the food she likes. You think about, if you went to the Philippines and all you had to eat was rice and fish, you might miss the meals that you would normally have in your country. If you're from England, you might miss your Yorkshire puddings and all that sort of thing. So you might be cooking them there if you were there, if you had the ingredients. Just an example. So when she's here, she's going to want to look for those things that are familiar, which is people, groups where she can bond together, and food. Very simple. And as simple as that seems, the food connection will help her also to feel more comfortable in your country. It's really important that she's able to still connect to her family at home, and with technology today it's very easy to do that. So she's bound to get homesick in the first few years. Even she can get very homesick, and by connecting to her family through video link is a great way for her to not feel as homesick, and for her to be able to cope. She's finding out what's going at home, and she's sharing a bit to them about what is going on for her. So they're using each other as a support system, and that's going to help greatly especially in that first year or so of being in your country. Also, they just messaging through Messenger, if it's not always on video link, doing through Messenger, just the simple chats, catch up, They might, you know, maybe for an hour here, an hour there, whatever it is. It helps her to cope from, you know, being so far away from everything she's ever known and her family. So really important for your Filipina, I believe, to integrate into the community as soon as possible after coming to your country. Now, the best way to do that is to get work or some sort of employment, and that allows her to feel like not only she's contributing to where you are and what you're doing, but it gives her a sense of purpose. It makes her feel like she belongs in that country because she's contributing to society as well. And it allows her also to get some of her own money, which she might be able to send some of that home to her family who may be struggling in her country. You got to remember, when she comes to your country, now she's got a whole different life. She doesn't want for too much. You know, she's got a nice place to live in. She's got plenty of food. The things that we take for granted, say here in the West, they can struggle for in the Philippines. And she will see that. It will be like a big smack in the face. Bang! Whoa! You know, this is all just given to you here almost. And over there, we struggle for these things. So it's very natural for her to want to help her family at home, because she might be feeling a little bit guilty in a sense that she's in a whole different world now, and where she doesn't want for too much, and she can't help but think back to her family who's still struggling in the Philippines, and of course she wants to help them out. So that will give her a great sense of pride and accomplishment if she can actually send some money home to her family and help them out as well. That's really important for her to do that if you want her to feel comfortable here and not be worrying about her family at home. So it's really important for you as her partner to be her sounding board, if you like. So be there for her when she's upset, and she will be upset at times when she first comes to your country. She will feel homesick after a little while. She'll be feeling homesick, and she will most likely have times where she's crying and maybe even a little down and depressed, because things are so different. And as I say before, she'll have those doubts in her mind. That's where you need to comfort her, reassure her, and tell her everything's okay. It's going to take time to get used to things, but you'll be fine. I'm here to help you. Make her feel like she's not alone and that you're there with her every step of the way. And that is going to help her to feel much more comfortable in your country, or you know, which is now becoming her country. It might take us some years to actually start to feel comfortable in your country. It might not just happen after a year or two. It could take 3, 4, 5 years. And as I say, Filipinos get a lot of doubts when they're out of their own environment. They start to think their English is not good enough, or they're not good enough, or they're not as good as other people. You know, they can't do things that other people can do in that country. And it's all a mind battle for them. So you've got to help them to understand, yes, you're as capable as anybody. You can do what anyone else can do. And in time, you will see that. So you've just got to keep on reassuring her and telling her that everything's okay, and she will, in time, fit in like everybody else. So be patient, loving and supportive. That's the greatest 3 things you can do for your Filipina when she comes to your country. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've got any other tips you'd like to put down, put them in the comments below. This is a community we're in, so we all share with each other and help each other out with all these ideas and suggestions. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Share the video around with anyone who may enjoy the video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get more videos. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate all your support. Take care, and bye for now.
About